This is the Eames lounge chair, one of the many iconic Herman Miller pieces of furniture. This chair is artistic, it's timeless, and when you're done with it, you can probably sell it for more than what you bought it for. Now, Herman Miller is objectively an impressive company, but $8,000 for a lounge chair is pretty intense. So why are they so expensive? To understand how Herman Miller became a paragon of design in the furniture world, we gotta zoom back to the Great Depression. In this adapt or die scenario, Herman Miller basically established that they were going to be around for a very long time. Now, if you haven't seen our first episode about Herman Miller, you should definitely watch that first, but just to summarize, Herman Miller wasn't always the design behemoth that it is today. Herman Miller embraced modern design with problem solving at its core. Instead of following the path done by most other furniture manufacturers, chasing trends and just pumping out whatever sells the best, Herman Miller set out to truly understand the needs of the modern customer, to truly dig in and learn how to meet those needs as fully and as best as possible. Now you're probably wondering, why was that so hot? Well, the thing is, today, the companies that we purchase from typically care one hell of a lot less about what we actually want and rather about what will sell and make the most money. That's why we're always just getting another variation on classic Coke and getting a 6th reboot of that movie that was successful 20 years ago. Did you know that there's like 11 Air Bud movies? Like one extremely talented dog is enough. We don't need to, imagine worlds where dogs are good at every single sport that ever existed. Herman Miller understood that as a furniture company, they provided a service for people's needs, and humans' needs really don't change all that much. By focusing on problem solving through design, Herman Miller ended up creating pieces that were highly original and remained relevant for decades. Not only that, Herman Miller created a design-driven organization. Artistry and function became key tenets of the Herman Miller business model. Over time, they developed entire research divisions to dig into topics like health and workplace efficiency. They wanted to design the best possible products to address the needs of people and businesses even before they knew they had them. We're going to be talking about the famed Aeron chair and the controversial role that Herman Miller played in office design today in our final video in this series. So if you're curious about that, which you should be because it's juicy, make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out when we publish that in a couple of weeks. But make no mistake, this was a risky move. Ignoring trends and focusing on design involves placing a bet on the future. But it seems that Herman Miller was a bit of a gambler, was pretty dang good at it. It didn't take long before the company started partnering with designers like Eames and Noguchi. Think of this as like, having a different artist featured on your EP, you gotta get DJ Khaled in there to really bump up the ratings. I gotta stop shitting on DJ Khaled. He's the only guy who I know is featured in every thing in the world. These partnerships pushed these designers to become household names in the middle of the 20th century. But what's even crazier is how many of these designs ended up in art museums. This is from the New York Museum of Modern Art, and you can see that Charles Eames alone has 85 works listed there. That's just one designer they worked with. In a matter of decades, Herman Miller went from producing traditional bedroom furniture to an icon of modern art, pushing former rules of design by experimenting with new materials and styles, bringing on the best of the best to reimagine what the world of furniture would look like into the future. The company was so legendary during this time, in fact, that their advertisements have value today. Herman Miller teamed up with some designers, and today you can buy these old vintage posters for up to $1,200. Imagine, instead of buying a chair for $1,200, you buy a poster for the same amount of money from the company that made the chair. But here is where the true value of Herman Miller lies and why people are willing to spend such crazy amounts of money for their products. The soul of Herman Miller is where artistry and practicality collide. A lot of people today might not have the money or desire to spend $1,200 on a piece of art that hangs on your wall, but we all need somewhere to rest our feet at the end of a long day's work. And why not have that seat be beautiful as well as functional? Gilbert Rode, one of the head designers, once told owner Dupree, "You're not just making furniture anymore. You're making a way of life." Now, we could make a whole section on how Herman Miller injected the very idea of ergonomics into office furniture, or how the Noguchi coffee table influenced generations of design, or how they managed to make an office chair out of recycled ocean plastic, as an example. All of these could point to the reason for such a high price tag, but the true value of Herman Miller lies in its timeliness and its longevity. When you purchase a Herman Miller piece, you are ultimately purchasing an opportunity for long-term emotional attachment. This is the kind of commitment that your ex could never give you, along with the lumbar support that you dream of. Unlike the Billy bookcase that you bought from IKEA, you'll be passing this furniture down to one of your 11 grandchildren because you're a farmer in the 1950s. I don't know about you, but I'd much rather spend a bit more money up front to invest in something that I'll love for years to come. And more people feel this way. Herman Miller built furniture with the idea that this was going to be used almost indefinitely. It's designed well, it's got a timeless aesthetic, and it can be repaired really easily. In a timeline where we just throw out furniture and buy new stuff every time that we move, it's kind of amazing to think about furniture that can just get reupholstered to last another generation. But I'm sure we've all seen a super old piece of furniture in our grandparents' house and thought, wow, that floral chaise is disgusting. But you wouldn't say that about Herman Miller even if you don't know anything about design. And that's because Herman Miller made artwork that you sat on. It's basically a long-term investment. For example, look at this chair from 1957. That's a 65-year-old chair, and it looks amazing, first of all, but the craziest part is that it's selling for almost 20 grand, which is basically double what you can buy a brand new one for today. These are like collectible cars or property. They actually appreciate in value over time. Add to this the social and environmental leadership that this company has spearheaded over the years, and you're paying for more than just a beautiful chair. Your dollars go to supporting the values and the legacy of the Herman Miller brand and what it stands for. We get more into this ethical side of Herman Miller in our previous video, but there is something here that we need to mention. Herman Miller has been a shining star in the furniture industry thus far, no doubt about it. A lot of this innovation that they brought into the world was partially due to the pressure they felt from their competitors, and today that might be changing. Herman Miller has made some big business moves in the past, like the purchase of Design Within Reach in 2014, among other things. However, in the past year, they made their biggest leap yet. They recently made a $1.8 billion acquisition of Knoll Incorporated, which is its own globally recognized leader in design in its own right. Probably their #1 competitor, in fact. Herman Miller claims that now they have acquired Knoll and all of their subsidiaries, up to 11 different brands, so that they can better suit customers' needs moving into the future. This is a statement that they made. The broader portfolio, scaled global footprint, and advanced digital capabilities, we will be poised to meet our customers everywhere they live and work. Essentially, Herman Miller is now the only game in town for high-end furniture. And so we have to sort of wonder what that means for the values that they have carried up to this point. Now, just to be clear, we're not saying that Herman Miller is now just another capitalist megacorp soaking up the competition to ultimately dominate the industry and increase profits for shareholders over the longevity of the company and the general health and well-being of the people on the planet who made the business profitable in the first place. But if you were to go down that road, buying up all of your competition would be a perfect place to start. So this is why, despite the incredible achievements of even the most impressive companies in the world, we need to hold them accountable. Just because a company does one good thing does not mean that they've washed their hands of their future responsibility to the people and the planet that they are a part of. So how this company evolves in the next couple of years is yet to be seen, but what we know for sure is that the legacy of this company and the products they created is super freaking impressive. So if you see an Eames lounge chair at your local garage sale, for the love of God, buy it. Buy it now, you will never regret it. But even if you're not going to buy one of these luxury, bottom-holding, caressing seats, it is worth considering how your furniture is going to age before you invest in it. Is this going to stand the test of time? Are you just buying whatever is the cheapest thing at IKEA? Can you see yourself passing this down to the next generation? If the answer is no, then maybe you should consider buying something slightly more high quality or something secondhand that's been well made so that you can develop a little bit of a personal attachment to it and hand it down to the people who come after you. But if you like this video and you're curious to see our next episode about Herman Miller, make sure you hit that subscribe button and then you won't miss a video and we can be best friends forever. Bye everyone.